I'm astrologer and life coach Penny Dix. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my in-depth look at this month's new moon in Libra, which is on the 25th of September, and on some parts of the planet, depending where you're located, the 26th. So let's have a look at what this new moon is about, because I think it's quite interesting, because for people in the United Kingdom who are going through the grief process for the late monarch, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, this new moon is taking place at the start of the reign of the new King Charles III. So how is this energy going to help His Majesty? How is it going to help all of us in general, just on a personal level? So, well, Libra is about balance, fairness, and relationship. And with this new moon coming whilst Mercury is retrograde, and at this point when the moon is new, the Mercury has just slipped back into Virgo, which of course it rules. It co-rules Virgo with Chiron, which of course is our asteroid, the wounded healer. So there's something quite healing about this energy of Mercury moving back into Virgo. And I think that because Mercury is in a kind of out of sign conjunction with the new moon, and also Venus, our planet of love, beauty, value, is also conjunct, out of sign conjunct with the new moon in Virgo. And Venus, interestingly, also rules Libra. So we have this kind of overlapping of energies and planets, which is one of the things I find so fascinating about astrology, the way it kind of does this dance. So I think that this new moon in Libra is suggesting the need for quiet reflection and remembrance as a new era begins. Because even though it's not perhaps the change of this era, the change from the Elizabethan age, the second Elizabethan age, to the Carolean age, because Carol in Latin stands for Charles. I know it doesn't affect the whole world in that sense, but I think a lot of people in many countries have been deeply affected by this ending of an era. And that, I think, is significant for all of us. And that is something about the Pluto energy, which is making a lovely trine aspect, which is a helpful aspect to this new moon. Pluto is about transformation. And Pluto, as it's journeyed through Capricorn, has been breaking down the old ways of doing things, breaking down the tradition of many ways of life and the ways that governments run themselves, countries run themselves. One wonders whether the monarchy can survive in its current form. I think probably not. I suspect that when Pluto moves into Aquarius, at least dips its toes in next year, that we will see quite a lot of murmurings and rumblings from the various countries of the Commonwealth about whether they still want to be part of a Commonwealth that perhaps, and I don't know, has served its purpose. And perhaps it is time for something new. So let's just go back to the energy of this new moon, because, as I said, I think it suggests the need for reflection and remembrance, which is why it's interesting that it comes at this time, because otherwise, you know, I would have said that anyway. But for the new king, if I just stay with that topic just for a moment, the new moon suggests a period of respite for him to gather his thoughts, which I think will be very, very much what he needs. Now, the event chart of the new moon gives us a Cancer ascendant. And this suggests the need for us to feel connected to our roots and our ancestry. And it's interesting that the new moon falls in the 4th house of the event chart, thus underlining this need for family roots to be honoured. And I think for a lot of people, certainly in the UK and maybe some people around the world, the end of this particular era has brought up those thoughts that we have about our ancestry, about our roots, about who we are, about where we come from. And that's something to do also with the nature of Pluto. Pluto goes down to the roots. It rules Scorpio. It's like it's uncovering the depths, the hidden depths. And I do feel that there's no doubt that the funeral of the greatest monarch of our current era has profoundly and will profoundly affect many people, because it also reminds us all of the personal losses that we've endured. I think we can really associate with what the royal family are going through. And in a sense, how challenging for them that their grief, in a sense, has to be on display. And they are robbed at this time of private time alone, private moments to grieve, which most of us, even though I know when we lose someone, we tend to be caught up in a whirlwind of activity for those first few days and few weeks, so that it's often much later that the loss kind of hits us. So how will the planet fare? Well, with regards to the world at large, we are moving towards and already within the energy of the final square that we have between Saturn, our planet of boundaries and restrictions in Aquarius and rules, and Uranus, who is the complete opposite of Saturn, unpredictable, explosive, unusual, the unexpected energy in Taurus. These two big outer boys of mine that have been squaring off on and off for 18 months now, nearly 2 years. So I am going to do a separate video about the Uranus-Saturn square, because it reaches its final point in October. So I will do that video soon, and that will be up. And what you can expect, each of the zodiac signs, how you feel it might affect you. So this square comes on the tail of this new moon, suggesting the potential for fairness, balanced compromise, especially in the world's hotspots. So I looked at the chart of Vladimir Putin. Well, it's interesting. So I overlaid the new moon onto Vladimir Putin's chart, and there is a potential for a softening in his stance. And the day I'm recording this, he is actually meeting some of the Chinese officials and leaders. And I wonder whether they will endeavour to just talk him down a bit, because this war, which of course he doesn't like to call a war, is not actually serving anyone, because all it is doing is causing hunger, loss, fear. It's causing economic stress on the whole planet. It does not serve us well, and I wonder whether it really truly serves the Chinese nation. So they may well be trying to talk him into a softer approach, which is what I feel, interestingly, with this new moon energy. And I do feel that he might seriously be considering better options for solving this crisis that he's instigated. Then I had a look at Volodymyr Zelensky overlaid with the new moon energy. And it's conjunct with his natal North Node. Now, the North Node is about our destiny. This is about where he is going to on his path. It's what he is here to fulfill. And so the new moon there suggests the potential for him to fulfill his destiny. However, the new moon is squaring, that's a hard aspect, his natal Jupiter, the planet of expansion and just enlarging everything. And it's conjunct his natal Mars, which is aggressive, energetic, but it's the god of war. And Vladimir, if you're watching this, I would caution you against any big offensive attacks on Russia at this point, because I do not think this energy is going to help with that. I think it's important that Volodymyr Zelensky waits, because I think there is unexpected events that are going to happen which will determine the course of the war and determine the course of what's happening in general for all of us. And economically, I think with this new moon, we may see things in general looking less depressing, as was originally forecast. So it is quite a significant new moon, but how is it going to affect you personally? Well, the new moon has a wonderful, inspiring energy of togetherness. The transformational energies of Pluto, in a beautiful trine aspect, suggest a renewed love for family and relationships. Jupiter is in opposition in Aries to this moon, suggesting it really is a good time to take the initiative to make those kind of gestures that help relationships to heal, so that the healing of wounds within families is encouraged with this new moon energy. It's beautiful energy to just approach others with perhaps we've had disputes. And I think it's about this recognition that certainly the ending of this era of one of the greatest monarchs the planet's ever known, regardless of what anyone's views are about monarchy, I think that's irrespective at this point. And everyone, as you know, I always say, everyone is entitled to their point of view. But there is no doubt that this is having a profound effect on the world. There's a kind of collective awareness that, you know, our life is transient, and that love and compassion for each other are far healthier than our constant bickering and criticism of ourselves, of each other, and our self-gratifying ways. I mean, of course, we've got to focus in a positive and healthy way on our personal growth. But this new moon really gives the opportunity for relationship healing and self-healing. So my final thoughts before I just run through each of your zodiac signs. Well, my final thoughts for this new moon are that powerful endings, as we are collectively experiencing, are always blessed with a collective pulling together and balancing of values. This new moon couldn't be in a more appropriate part of the sky at this time. Libra is balancing us. Venus and Mercury in Virgo are promoting healing. And this Mercury retrograde is timely in allowing us to heal the relationship we have foremost with ourselves, and then of course with others. So let's move on to your individual zodiac signs, just so that you know the particular area of your life that is going to be most affected by this particular new moon. So for you, Aries, it is in the part of your chart that is to do with your significant relationships. And I think that there's a sense that you can start afresh with perhaps situations that have become very fraught and tense, and that it's actually okay to sort of to let go, move on, and use this new moon energy, bearing in mind you've still got Jupiter in your sign, making this opposition to the new moon, which is giving you the ability to turn the other cheek, to be the bigger person, to make the offer of, come on, let's kind of find a middle ground here. This is silly. It doesn't serve either of us to be at war. So, thoughts for you with that. This new moon is for you to focus around the significant relationships in your life. So let's move on to Taurus. Taurus, this is about your day-to-day routine and your working life. And I think you're giving attention to that routine, and it's really about finding perhaps a more balanced way to run your affairs, and to take into consideration your inner self, your psyche, that, you know, can get quite wound up about things. You're fixed. You're not always good at changing routine. But sometimes, you know, other people might have ideas that actually are really helpful. So just listen and use this new moon energy to just make a few positive changes to your calendar. Gemini, it's in a fun part of your chart. I think you're going to have a chance to really mix with some friends and just rebuild relationships that may have fallen by the wayside as the summer has progressed and as the events of the world and what's been happening in your life have unfolded. So it's also a wonderful time, Gemini, to reflect on the kind of creative side of your nature and what you would like to initiate for you in terms of feeding your soul on that creative level. So give that some thought as well, Gemini. Cancer. For you, this is very much about the home, family and roots, and about really looking at where you can make new beginnings with family. Again, maybe there's been some difficulties, some fractious times, some difficult squabbles and arguments or differences of opinion. This new moon beautifully gives you all the time to sit down, set your differences aside, and look at how you can actually work together to any common causes that you have. Leo. Leo, for you, it's about the way you communicate. And it's about how you come across to others. Remember, Mercury started off retrograde in this part of your chart, and it's now moved back into Virgo. And I think this new moon is giving you a chance to reflect on how you want to present yourself through the spoken word or the written word. There may be areas that you can kind of refine it, tweak it, just make it a little bit more succinct. So good energy for you. And when Mercury moves direct again and moves back into this part of your chart, I think your communication is going to be like a powerhouse of activity. Virgo, this is excellent energy for you, for your financial status, for your possessions, for your sort of anything that you are invested in. So this is how you look after your piggy bank, your money pot, your bank account. And it's giving an injection of fresh energy. And if that's not literally coming in the form of literal money falling into your lap, it is giving you the opportunity to see how you can actually manifest some finance into your life to balance out the books. This really will help you balance your budget. Nice energy, Virgo. Libra, well, of course, this is your new moon. This is about you. It's almost like you're recalibrating yourself. You're getting yourself back onto an even keel. And I think you've had quite a busy time. You've got that Mercury that was in your sign. Now it's moved back into your 12th house, which is kind of giving you a chance to just pause and reflect and look inward a bit as to how you want the next kind of sort of season, if you like, to unfold. So it's good for you to get some balance and some fresh energy into the way that you present yourself. You may even feel like changing your hair, a haircut, some new clothes, something that just makes you feel like a new you. Now let's look at Scorpio. Scorpio, time for inner reflection, but with some inspiration coming, with some insights coming, insights that have been long in coming. I think it's quite a transformative new moon for you. And I feel that you have to be careful that it doesn't fire you up too much emotionally. That as you begin to sort of see crystal clear about certain situations that have been unraveling in your life, that you don't allow yourself to become emotionally exhausted as the light, if you like, dawns on what has actually been going on and what has been kept hidden from you. So be easy on yourself, Scorpio, with this new moon. Take time to reflect and take the opportunity to get your psyche into a balanced state. Sagittarius, this is a chance to start getting out there, mingling and meeting the world at large, and really feeling that you can achieve some of the hopes and wishes that you would really like to have for yourself and your loved ones in the future. It's a lovely energy to be in this part of your chart, because it really does give you an opportunity to reconnect again with larger groups, with the community, and to see how you can actually play a part in all of that in a way that feeds your soul. So have a think about what that might mean for you, but nice energy. Then we come on to Capricorn. Capricorn, new opportunities at work, new opportunities in your career, new opportunities on that soul path of yours. This is super lovely energy. This is helping you get much more balanced in your working life. You know, it feels as if it's been a little bit erratic. It's been hugely busy. There's been so much energy that you've needed. It's been a big mountain to climb, but it's a little bit like you've reached a plateau and you can sit back and let things just tick over a bit with this new moon. Lovely balanced energy for you. So sit back and enjoy. Aquarius. So Aquarius, this is beautiful, far-reaching, far-thinking energy for you. A new moon in this part of your chart is helping you really sense where you want to go to in terms of developing your intuition, developing your working life in terms of the skills you have, your talents, and looking at where you might start looking again at learning new things. It could also, it's also the part of the chart that is about travel. So it may be that you actually do literally plan a journey around this energy, which would be very balancing, and it's like it gets those scales balanced. You'll just feel much lighter with the energy after you enjoy this new moon energy. And finally, last but not least, we come to Pisces, my oceans of emotions, my lovely fishes. How are you doing, Pisces? Well, you know, Pisces, this is a very transformative new moon for you. It feels to me that you are really having some waking up moments. You are seeing certain things in your life in a very different way. You are becoming enlightened about anything that you've been investing in of a joint financial nature. And you're seeing where perhaps people haven't been kind of paying their dues or being fair with you. And this new moon for you is about redressing the balance with that. You really will find a way with incredible diplomacy and sort of deliberate thought to find a way to put your point across in a very balanced way and start afresh with anything that is of a joint financial nature. So on that note, thank you so much, all of you, for joining me for this in-depth look at the Libra new moon on the 25th of September. And please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be super cool if you could help me get to that next K. We've got to the 1K bit and moving upwards. And let's see if we can get me to 2K. That would be super helpful. And thank you so much to all of you who have chosen to follow me and subscribe me and support me. I really value your presence here. And I will continue to do my best to keep the output coming of content, which I hope is informative, empowering, and enlightening. Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.